I do.
Report visit.
My name is Stanley Brewer, and I've been painting for a long time, since 1979. I guess that was when I first got started. And I'm fixing to try this little pot of hydrangeas. I guess that's what it is. I've kind of got it laid out here. And there's my little color palette. I just threw some colors out there. I've got Palto blue and Persian blue, and I got some cobalt blue. And I got some burnt sienna, and I've got a new color that's called transparent red ochre. I hadn't never tried that, so we'll just have to see how it works. Of course, I got a little bit of white, and it's got some blue stuck in with it because I scraped it off from my last little palette that I had, and I'm trying to, you know, I'm one of them penny pinchers guys that I just use whatever little bit of paint that I have to. It's ridiculous how much paint costs. I got cadmium red, I've got some alizarin crimson, I got some rose red, I got some cerulean blue, I got some Payne's gray, and I've got some cobalt purple. And I'll be the first to tell you that I don't know what the crap I'm doing. I just fly by the seat of my pants. I've told people, you know, I have watched guys that know what they're doing, you know. They know about the hues, you know, the way the hues are, and the chromas, you know, and all them fancy things, you know. But I don't know about all that. I can make something up and just pull it out of my brain and put it on there, and I just try to paint it the best I can.
The house is gonna be like,
and
it's like 100.
You know, if it works out, that's great. But if it don't, I put it on my little unhappy painting pile that I've got stuck in the back here. And I'll leave it there until I learn enough that I can pull it out of that unhappy painting pile and rework it and make it happy again. And it'd be nice. But sometimes when I pull them out of my head, they turn out good. And they're like super spectacular or whatever.
Better not get on top of this mortar, man. You'll blow up.
My little cat just ran across my leg. Let me pick her up so you can see her. Oh my goodness. Look. Oh, there's little Coco. Say hello to the world, baby. Yeah, she don't like being held. Oh! Gone. Alright. Anyway. So, a lot of times, instead of just pulling them out of my head, I'll look and I'll find pictures, or I'll take a picture of something and I'll paint from the photo. Or I'll find some other reference that I like and I'll paint from it. And actually, I can usually do better if I've got something to look at, you know. You can see where the shadows are, and you know where the light's coming from, and you don't have to think about it and imagine it.
What?
And usually when I paint, I've got my little music playing, and I play all kind of music, but if I decide I want to put this video on YouTube or something like that, then I have to worry about copyrights of the music. So,
As long as it's what, like fucking.
you know, it's just me and the quiet and my son in there playing a video game. You can hear him every now and then if you listen real close. But I can't help that. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
I've got guys going in on
So anyway, I have got this little layout, and I don't know if you can see it real good. I'm going to pull it close where you can kind of see, maybe. I've kind of got like a little table here. What's going to be a pot.
Mark them on the map.
And I'm going to put some hydrangeas in here. Somewhere around in here. Something like that. There's going to be some purple ones up here, so we'll put blue ones up here. There'll be some up here. And those are kind of green, so I ain't going to put a lot of blue in them, and then we're going to have some blue ones over here. Hey, look at there. And there's going to be some blue ones down here. There's going to be some blue ones right in here. That's going to be kind of green right there. So we're going to have some purpley bluish ones here, and some purpley bluish ones here, and some purpley bluish ones there, and some purpley blue ones right here. But these are going to be a different color. Right in here, and here, and here, and down here. Let's see. I ain't got no green out here. We need some green for the. What kind of greens would we make for some hydrangea leaves? Oh God. Let's see. All right, I'm fixing to pick this camera up here. Well, I can't. It's all taped down. Whoa. But I can bring the greens to you. Here's some Falto green. Put some of that out. It's kind of a transparent kind of color. There's transparent colors and there's opaque colors. And some sap green, that's probably a pretty good one. Put some of that out.
You guys need more of that. What's up, buddy?
My little paper plate's getting full. I may have to get me another one. Alright, we need some yellows too. Let's see. Here's a cadmium yellow. I just nearly hate to use this thing. The last tube I bought this was $27 for a tube of paint this big. And I've got it right here. Somewhere. Oh God, don't tell me I've lost it. See right there? Cadmium yellow. I don't know if you can see that. $27 and something. You know, you just nearly have to have a full-time job to be able to paint. If you paint like I do, that's just for fun, you know. But anyway, we're going to use some of it. But I have seen other artists to where they just like put like globs of paint out, you know, half a tube of paint for a painting. And I just cringe every time I see that. I don't do that. I just put out whatever much I think I might need. It's kind of like toothpaste, you know. If you whatever you squeeze out, you can't put back in, but you can always squeeze some more out if you need it.
Yeah, mortar's out of ammo. You make
Okay.
it right?
So what should we do first? I guess we need to do a background. We need to do a background. Let's do what's behind it. And most time when I do a painting, I work from the whatever's furthest away from me out. I do landscapes most of the time, but I do like to do some florals. And I've had this discussion with some of my art friends on Facebook. When I first did this little layout, I posted on my Facebook page that it could either be some hydrangeas or it could be a robot, a wild-haired robot gonna eat a hamburger. And it kind of looks like you can make a robot out of that and gonna eat a hamburger. And I could do that, but I'm gonna stick with my hydrangeas. Alright, I got to tilt you up just a little bit where you can see the... There we go. A little bit more. Okay. Alright. And I have told all my friends and anybody that's ever asked me if I was a professional artist or something, and I would have to say that no, I'm not. Every painting I do, I have to relearn how to paint, because every painting I've ever done is different. You know, there's some people out there in the world that has techniques and they know what they're doing as far as the chroma and you know, all those fancy things, you know, the tone of it and the shadows and all that stuff. But I just fly by the seat of my pants. And every painting I do, I have to figure it out all over again. And you know, sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not so great. But that's me and that's my little world and that's what I live in. And the only one that has to deal with it is my little family and my children and stuff that eventually one of these days is going to inherit all these nasty looking paintings off stuff. Anyway. Alright, so I'm thinking I'm going to put some background in here. I want to find me some yellow ochre. Looks like we need some yellow ochre. I'm going to dig in my archives over here. Right there, some yellow ochre. Find somewhere to put it. I'm really going to have to get me another palette. I've run out of space. I like using these little paper plates that are plastic coated. because I can usually paint out of it, or I can break it down. I can get 2 or 3 plates. If I'm doing like a landscape or something, I can have one that's got like my sky colors in it, and one that's got, you know, my tree colors in it, and maybe the land, you know. Or with this, I can have one that's got like background colors and colors for the flower pot or whatever's in it, or the flowers themselves. And I can have several of them, and they don't cost nothing. They're plastic coated, so the oils and stuff, or the thinners, or the, you know, anything, it don't soak through it. So, you know, they're great. What I've done with my good brush. What I do? I just got me some new brushes. All right. All right, we're gonna get us a little bit of yellow ochre. We're gonna come up here in this corner and we're gonna start coloring it in. And I've got a little bit of blue left. There's one of my art people that I follow on Facebook. Her name is Marge Kennedy. She'd be a good one to watch. She talks about she paints with a dirty brush. So maybe some of the paint that you're painting with, there might be some left over in the brush from what you was doing before. But that's okay, because it'll all blend together eventually. And that's the truth. Okay, so we got a little yellow ochre there, and that got a little bit darker, didn't it? I put a little blue in it. I shouldn't have done that. Blue and yellow makes green, don't it? Look, that got green. You see that? That's alright. We'll let that corner be a little green. I'll wash it out. We'll get a clean brush. We'll go back to our yellow ochre. And we'll get a little bit of this high dollar cadmium yellow. We'll stick it over here and mix it up. Put a little bit of that yellow in there. See that yellow? The reason it costs so much is because it's a high quality paint. It's got a lot of pigment in it. You know, you can go buy some, I don't know what the word for it is, like beginner paints, you know. And if you thin them out, and you know, you can buy a tube of it for $5. But when you thin it out with thinner and you pull it down, you can see like big chunks of pigments and stuff in it. But if you buy the artist grade paint, you know, you have to pay a lot for it. But when you thin it out, it's like you can't see when it's thinned out. It just gets lighter and lighter. You don't see the actual pigments. It's because the pigments are ground so fine that it's just, A little bit goes a long way. So that's why they cost so much. It's because it don't take that much. Now I've seen people painting to where they just really gobbed it on. I mean, it was like that thick, you know. But 10 years from now, that thick paint is going to crack. You know, it's going to crack and start. It's not good. When I paint, I put on thin coats. And I'll put on another thin coat. I'll put darks on, then I'll highlight those, and then I'll come back and I'll put darks again, and do the shadows around them highlights, then I'll come back and I'll highlight them shadows that I had, and the highlights that I had before, and then I'll come back and I'll put darks, and I just go back and forth between dark and light. See, that kind of, it's still a little green looking, but that, you know, it don't matter. We're just going to fill it in. Where's my ochre at? There it is. All we're doing is building us a background color around all these flowers. I should have. A lot of times, what I'll do,
You gotta give me a mortar.
like this little, I've been doing these little small paintings, little 5x7s, and you can do it on big paintings too. But I tint the whole painting with, what is it? Burnt sienna, with a light coat of burnt sienna. Especially these. You know, and the cheaper canvases that the thread count is not as much, and you can really see, you know, the texture of the things. And when you go to painting, this is to the painters that know, when you go to paint, when you paint something, you always see them little white specks showing through. And that's the white on that canvas. And you hate them little white specks. But you can tint it either gray or with this burnt sienna. And it tints the whole thing either, you know, gray or burnt sienna. And you don't have a white on there anymore. That way, when you do your paint, if you miss one of them little divots that's in the canvas, you know, you got the strings that are combined, you know, it's a linen cloth, and it's got little divots in it. And if you don't cover them up, when you get done, there'll be a little white speck just shining, because white is bright and it'll shine out. So anyway, you can pre-coat it with gray or burnt sienna, or depending on whatever you're painting, you can do it with other colors. You just you paint out really thin with paint thinner and just put a light coat over it. Anyway, this painting, I didn't do that. So, I will probably be fighting them little white little divots shining through when I try to finish this thing. I think I'm going to have to get me some more yellow ochre. But you know what? I didn't have a whole bunch of it left over when I got done with my painting. Look at that. There wasn't nothing left. And it didn't have a big old pile of paint that was dried that I had to throw away. course, I don't know about all these other ones. It's getting late. They usually last like 2 days, maybe. In 2 days, if you squirt paint out like that right there on your little palette, in 2 days, depending on the color, some dry fast and some don't dry so fast, but they'll be coated over with dried paint. And you have to break the skin loose off of it to get in there to find some more paint. Does that make any sense? I bet it does to anybody that's painted. Anyway, right now, I gotta get some more yellow. That went pretty fast. I'm gonna get a little bit of, this is one of my favorite colors. It's called Steel de Grand Braun. It's a reddish brown color, but it's transparent. You got opaque colors and you got transparent colors. You can thin a layer of this out and put it down, but you can still see what's underneath it. But if you put an opaque color down, it'll totally cover up whatever was under it. So these transparent colors, you can put one color down and then you can come in other parts of it and put another color down, and they'll blend together, but you can still see your base painting that was under it, and you can use them to highlight it. Does that make any sense? Maybe? Somebody? Alright, where's my yellow ochre at? I need yellow ochre. It's over here in my pile somewhere. Where's it at? I just had it a while ago. That ain't it. There's some right there. Oh. That ain't the same tube I had a while ago. That's a different brand. Mixed brands, it don't matter. Just as long as you buy good paints to begin with. Alright. So we're gonna come in here, about right in there. You know, it would just amaze me if somebody took the time. I just dip my brush into a little bit of a sunflower oil, I believe. Safflower. Okay. Safflower. I don't know what a safflower is. S-A-F-E S-A-F-F-L-O-W-E-R. Safflower. You know. It's just a medium. When you paint, it's not, if it's too thick. Sometimes you squirt paint out and it's like super thin and there's a lot of oil. You know, sometimes there's extra oil running out of it. Sometimes when you squirt it out, it's all thick and hard and you can't work with it. It's like, so you have to add some medium to it, some oil, to make it to where it'll flow out of your brush and work. My favorite oil to use is walnut oil. I seen it on some video of this guy that was doing portraits. And I actually found some and got me a bottle of it and used it, and then I got down nearly out of it and went to buy me some more at the same place, and then they didn't carry it no more.
Still all good.
So there I was. So I bought some sapphire oil instead. I don't reckon it matters.
You guys gonna set up a board?
Linseed oil is good. Just anything that'll thin your paint out and let it paint. You know? And I probably put way too much in that bottle just now, but I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy talking. You know, I'm kind of stingy and thrifty about my paints. Okay, you seen how that went on, like all globby looking? You know, it didn't want to flow out. It was like trying to spread some dried out peanut butter. You ever open up peanut butter and it would be dried out? But there was oil down there beside it, like you buy that natural peanut butter. But when you stirred it up and you mixed the oil back in with it, then the peanut butter would spread on it. Well, it's the same with the paints. Alright, so it was all globby looking and didn't want to flow out. And so now that I've added some oil to it, let's see what it does. Now, did you see how that just covered right? I mean, immediately it just spread out. Look at there. Now, see, I can even come over here where I was at before. You know, that pigment that I've got on the canvas already. See there, it started just flowing. But I've got that way too dark. We need to lighten that up. I'm going to take a little bit of it. Where else we need something? We need a little bit over here. All these things around where our little flower pot is, we want to kind of color that in a little bit.
You guys see it follow those
See
rounds?
how that was before? It was all dark and it didn't want to work. So, but then when I got that paint that had a little bit of oil in it, then it was like it just went out. Then. Alright. Alright, now I'm going to wash my brush out. We kind of got a little bit of... Right now I'm taking a clean brush. It ain't even got no paint in it. Alright, nothing. Just a dry, clean brush. I'm going to come back where I put paint on it. Alright. So what I've done is I've laid a layer of pigments across that, right? Now I can get this dry brush and I can move them pigments around anywhere I want to. The paint's already on there. All I'm going to do is, if it's dark here, I can squirt it and move it over there. Shadow that in. any place that who knows? I can just do whatever I want to with it. Some of my favorite paintings that I've ever done was where I just got a little canvas and I totally covered the whole thing with a single coat of paint. Okay? So the whole canvas was covered with paint. It was a solid paint. And then I got a dry, clean brush and I come back in there with it and I put paint thinner on it. And I did like, I don't know what you call it, like negative painting. It's where you take paint off so you can get a dry brush and you put it in paint thinner and you rub on it. That's to show you what I'm talking about. You come right here. You see how that? Look at that. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me pull it up here close so you can see. Oh, you can see it now, right? Okay, so see there? You can get a dry brush when you put paint on it. You can get a dry brush and you can come in here and you can take paint off. And you can paint a picture by doing a negative
Supply truck, bring more supplies.
I have gotten paintings that I had a whole canvas that was, I made a solid color. And you can come in here if you want to. And you can paint out and you can put a little house in there if you wanted to. I'm away from my I'm just saying. My back, okay. You could come in there. You could do that, and you could, you know, you could put a house, or you could paint rocks, or you could do whatever you want with it. When you get the pigments on the canvas, you can work it and do whatever you want to with it. But right now we're painting something else. So I'm going to move them pigments back around and get it back looking like a background. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get some of these reds in my drawing and I'm going to suck them out here. See, those are little pigments too, and I'm going to pull them out here. I'm going to get a little bit of this blue off of that. Ooh, easy. That yellow ochre, when I mixed it in with that blue right there, it turned green. Yellow and blue makes green, right? So you got to be careful with that too. I don't want green. Well, there it is. Oh God, we can wipe it off with the paper towel. All right. So. Alright, what else we gonna do? Let's get a little bit of this oil here. Alright, I got my Pytho blue, and I got my Persian blue. And I guess we can come in here and we can start working on our vase a little bit, maybe. I don't know how good you can see on this camera, but like when I paint that down, I can see all the little white giblets that's sticking through the canvas right there. So I'm going to get me a little oil and I'm going to mix with it. And when I put that oil on there, it'll make those pigments flow. See that? Even when you dip back in the very same color that you was just in, see how much darker it looks? And that's the difference that the oil makes. The oil makes the pigments break up and flow instead of staying globed together and sticking at a high place. It makes them break loose and flow, and they'll flow down into those little giblets, diblets, or I don't know what you call them, but the inlets of that canvas. You know, you got high places and low places in between every thread of it. You know, it's a piece of cloth. And you put the oil in it, and then, hey, look, it flows right in there.
Need more supplies, more position. Over. Need more supplies, a little more.
So what I'm doing is I'm just basically kind of just trying to fill in where this little base is going to be. But you see, I didn't paint this part because there's going to be some flowers right there.
I need a supply.
Now I could paint the whole vase in there and then come in later after it dried and put the flowers in on top of it, but they wouldn't show up as good. So I'm just kind of getting the vase kind of where I think it should be, and then I'll paint the flowers in, and then I'll worry about whether or not, you know, things are where they're supposed to be. It'll all work out.
For the mortar.
Maybe. If you don't, I've got my little unhappy painting pile in there, and that's where we'll put it if it don't work out. Okay, so we've got a little vase. It comes out like this.
They're empty, buddy.
Comes out round. We gotta make it round. We'll make it however we want to.
Don't you think it's cool how your head disappears when you go to work?
Alright, so that means if we made this side that round, we're going to have to make this side that round too. We want to try to make it symmetrical, right? You've got to imagine that there's a vase, and if it's the center there and it comes out that round there, it's going to have to go out that round there, right? Even though there's going to be a flower pot up in there somewhere. Alright, you remember a while ago when we was dry painting? Alright, now then we're going to get us a little brush and look, we put all that paint on there. Let's take some of it off. Whoa, look at that. So,
They're what?
you could put these highlights in here with white paint. You know, you can paint it blue, then you can start mixing white paint in with your blue and making a lighter version of it and painting on top of it. And we might do that before it's over with. But I can put blue on here, and then I can come back and I can get that dry brush, and I can just take some of that blue off. And look, see what it does? Just move them pigments around to where I want them. Okay, so when you paint these paints, first most important thing about it, well, let me tell you about the second most important thing. The second most important thing is the color that you're working with.
Thanks for supplies.
You got your colors, you know. If you're painting a red house, you don't want to put green paint on it, right? So that's, you know, you want to use red paint if you're painting a red house. So that's the second most important thing. But the first most important thing in anything you do is light. Alright? Any painting you do, the most important thing you do is light. How bright is the light? Which direction is the light coming from? You know, it don't matter what color it is or whatever. It's going to have light shining on it, or you wouldn't be able to see it to begin with. It'd be black. It'd be dark. Right? So, which way is the light coming from? Is it coming from here? If it was coming here, it'd be shiny over on this side. If it's coming from here, it'd be shiny on this side. So, when you're painting something, you have to decide, okay, the most important thing is light. Where's the light coming from? So we're going to say, and we're deciding, the light is going to be coming from here. So if you got light shining on something, it's going to be brighter than, you know, you'll see the reflection of the light. So that light's going to be,
Transport.
the main part of it is going to be hitting
Yeah, it's a transport for ammo,
right here.
not your fat ass.
Right here. Okay, so you got a round object, but the light's going to be bright here, and then it's going to dwindle down as it goes down. And we'll just have to work that down. And work it all in. And like I say, later on, right now we're just kind of
Hey, where are these guys at?
moving pigments around with one color. All I did was put that one color on there, and I'm just moving those same pigments of that one color around until I try to get the shape of this vase or vase or whatever you want to call it. And it's going to have a base too, so we need to figure out that. Yeah, so we got the color down here, but oh God, drop my brush. But and it's going to come down. It's going to be dark, but we're going to have a base down here. So we're going to come in here. Look, see, I ain't got no paint on this brush. I'm going to come in here and we're going to start putting us a base under it. All I'm doing is moving these pigments around and trying to make a base for this little flower pot. I ain't doing too good of a job, eh? That's alright. Let me get a different brush. I think this brush is too good. Alright, let's try this little brush. Alright. See, I'm just moving. All I picked up was a dry brush, and I'm moving these pigments around. I'm trying to make a base for my little flower pot here. And it don't really matter a whole lot, because there ain't going to be a whole lot of it showed, because eventually this, what they thought was a hamburger, is going to turn into a little bowl, maybe. And it's going to cover up that little end of that pot there. Oh, yeah. Did you hear that? Look at that. We'll just go ahead and kind of cover up that part of the might as well just come in here and fill in some of them little white divots that I was talking about. A little bit of coating of real light blue. And all I'm doing is really priming it. I'm just putting a little bit of the base coat of that paint on here. And then later on, when I come in here to finish painting that, I won't have these little white things to contend with. Oh, look at there. Put a big old streak across it. Let's just wipe that off. Yeah, see that? Look. See what we did? We can do whatever we want to. Okay. Now,
I didn't shoot nobody.
we'll come in here and get us a big old fat fluffy brush. We can just kind of fan that out a little bit. Slightly go over it. And it kind of blends it all together. We'll just take whatever's left on that brush and we'll just blend it in. All these little white divots we got here. Look at there. We'll get them little white divots filled in with a little blue. Them little white divots, I'm telling you, they're the end of the world for a painting.
There's one inside the fucking building.
I just put little white divots. Well, look at that. I don't know if you can see it or not. My little camera, I'm just starting out, so. Anyway, my lovely little wife, she always talks about it. It just amazes her that she comes in here and I'm just doing this. Looks like I'm making a mess out of it when I'm getting started, but then all of a sudden it just comes to life and turns into something. It's like it just amazes her. And painting's kind of that way. You just slowly build it up. You just start from the back and work your way up. And if you've got a reference, you look at it and you look at the darks and the highlights and the colors. And,
Who are you talking to?
Well, I'm making a video for my Stan Studio YouTube show.
Oh, okay.
So now you're part of it.
Sorry to interrupt.
Well, that's all right. Yeah, interruption, you're just part of my life, so, that's it. Anyway, where was I at? Oh yeah, we were just talking about colors. Anyway, I think I'm just gonna let it kind of sit here for now and let it dry a little bit, and then I'll come back tomorrow. I've got the base laid down, and I'll start putting the flowers in and the leaves, and work on my little bowl. Maybe I can get it worked out. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Bye.